Welcome back to more Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Last time we collected the first ship part, so this time our first mission is Team Monster Hunt. Those Pikmin are company property, not yours. If a fellow employee needs them, I expect you to share. How else are you supposed to get my treasure out of that cave? The President. Mission Log Day 5. While tracking down the signal from another part, I somehow got separated from Louie. I found him before too long, but he was on the other side of a body of water. Rather than risk a crossing, we decided to split up and look for somewhere that we can meet up. I'd best keep an eye out for indigenous creatures while I search. Well, there's the onion. Beware of the winged Pikmin. We have to clear out all of the enemies in the Garden of Hope in under 12 minutes, which shouldn't be too bad. This mission is relatively straightforward, outside of its main gimmick, where the captains have different starting locations, and also start with different types of Pikmin. Olimar is over here with the yellow Pikmin, while Louie is on the other side of the water with the rock Pikmin. First things first, I want to grow some more Pikmin of both types, using the smaller enemies by the onions, and once we're done with that, we're going to have to figure out a way to get past the obstacles in both sections. We have an electric wall on this side, and on the other side we should have a crystal wall. So what we want to do is go over here and trade Pikmin types between the two captains. Maybe Louie and I should swap Pikmin while we're here. As soon as all the yellow Pikmin are on the other side, we'll swap back to Louie and do the same with the rock Pikmin. Pikmin, I want them. Once we're done with this, we're going to have the yellow Pikmin get to work on this electric wall, and then we'll swap back to Olimar to deal with the crystal wall and any enemies beyond this point. Over here we have two yellow sprouts, along with a yellow Wollywog that should be relatively easy to take out with this many rock Pikmin. Finally made it. We'll gather up the yellow sprouts in the meantime, and we also have a peckish Aristocrab in this area. As long as we're able to break the claw right away, this shouldn't pose much of a threat, and we should be good to go from this point on. We also have an egg in this area. You will want to break this because this one will always have an ultra spicy spray. We definitely want this for something coming up later on. With that taken care of, that's actually everything Olimar can do for now. So what we're going to do is go back to the trading point and toss all of the Pikmin over to Louie. To be honest, I feel like this mission doesn't lend itself well for co-op, given that whoever's playing Olimar can basically sit out the rest of the day. There is one section that can be optionally tackled with Olimar, but it is actually possible to do this with Louie. So hypothetically, whoever is playing Olimar might not get anything else to do for the rest of this mission. Over here we have a bearded amp rat, along with the winged Pikmin at last, Lucky. We also have a puffy blowhog that will knock out of the sky with the winged Pikmin, and then we'll finish it off with the rock Pikmin like so, and we also have a winged Pikmin gate leading to even more winged Pikmin sprouts. So many winged Pikmin. We'll have them lift this up while we deal with the crystals over here with the rock Pikmin. With this many winged Pikmin, we should be able to get through the remaining challenges without too many issues, but in the next area we have a couple of somewhat scary enemies to get past. We have a calcified crush blat, along with an armored cannon larva. Obviously be very careful as you approach the next area, so no Pikmin get crushed by boulders. Hypothetically, you could leave the other Pikmin in this little entry area as you approach, but because the boulder always follows a set path, you'll be able to figure out where it goes and avoid it. We'll have the rock Pikmin fight the armored cannon larva, and we'll actually change a few yellow Pikmin into winged Pikmin in the meantime. This one will also drop an ultra spicy spray every time, and with that taken care of, we'll gather up the winged Pikmin here and deal with the calcified crush blat. Again, this is another enemy where as long as you're able to break the shell without too much trouble, you can fight it with other types of Pikmin no problem, but as long as the shell is around, you will want to be very careful with other types of Pikmin. One interesting thing about the calcified crush blat is if it lands on other types of Pikmin, they'll actually be planted again. The rock Pikmin will eventually emerge on their own, but you will have to manually pluck the other types of Pikmin. Here I specifically want the winged Pikmin to dig here, and in the meantime, we are going to toss all the Pikmin back to Olimar. You could go through that stone wall path instead, but I'd rather save the bomb rocks in that digging spot for something else. So instead, we're going to go through the winged Pikmin gate over here. Again, it's nice that you actually have two routes here. That area looks treacherous. That is kind of an understatement, as a ball bear walks right over there, and this is why I want bomb rocks. Again, this is doable without the bomb rocks, but especially since we're trying to not lose any Pikmin, I don't want to take any chances. And again, I wanted the winged Pikmin to get the bombs, specifically so I could whistle them over to this area. This is going to be very interesting. We also have a pair of bearded ant rats. I think I'll leave the other Pikmin behind to have less to worry about in terms of maneuvering through this area, but we might be able to take out a few of the enemies with one bomb rock, so let's give this a shot here. We won't be able to finish off the ball bear with a bomb rock anyway, just because they do have quite a bit of health, so we will have to finish it off either with another bomb rock or with a well-timed Pikmin swarm. I might actually use a spicy spray and simply charge the Pikmin at it, but since we have so many bomb rocks, let's give this a shot here. That should finish it off, assuming the first bomb hit, and we are good to go there. So next up, we want to gather up all the Pikmin, and over here, we should have another wall to get through. Again, as a reminder, you can hide in the foliage in case you run out of bomb rocks, for example, but we want to blow up this wall here, and the final two enemies should be in this drainage area. So let's head inside and see what we can do here. I'm not sure about this. We'll use the remaining bomb rock on the Whip-Tongue Bulborb here, and then we'll finish off the final one using an Ultra Spicy Spray and the Winged Pikmin. We want to wait for an opening and then charge. Words cannot describe how I'm feeling, Your Highness. Please accept this platinum medal and a song written by yours truly. Our splitting up strategy worked better than I had anticipated. Sharing Pikmin freely back and forth was all the proof we need to show how much we've grown into a fully functioning team. I underestimated Louis, I admit. I shouldn't have doubted his commitment to the mission. Next up is Channel Gone Dry. Reassembling that bridge is priority 1. Taking the fruits from those creatures is priority 2. Everything else is priority irrelevant. The President. Mission log day 6. I remember this place, but something feels off about it. Oh, it's because the water is gone. New creatures seem to have wandered in, exploring the boundaries of their territory. But I can't let them deter me from the bounty of fruits and nuggets here. The reward of so much treasure is more than worth the risk. Look at this! It's all dried up! We have 14 minutes to gather up all the fruits and treasures around the Twilight River, which is actually surprisingly difficult. There's not much to collect here, but the challenging part is establishing routes to everything in a timely manner, mainly with rebuilding this bridge over here. There's something on the other side of the bridge. At least that's what my instincts are telling me. While the Pikmin carry back the Medusal Slurker, I want to gather up these bomb rocks, both to get through the stone wall over here, and to clear out the larger enemies that are inhabiting this area. For example, we have quite a few orange Bulborbs to get past, and I'd rather not fight them head-on if I don't have to. We'll have one bomb rock to spare here, and I want to save it for a very specific Bulborb that's guarding another set of bomb rocks. Along the way, I want to gather up these Pikmin here, and I also want to defeat the dwarf orange Bulborbs and carry them back to the Onion. I want between 60 and 80 Pikmin by the end of this mission. That may seem like overkill, but you'll want a lot of Pikmin in order to carry the final treasures back in one trip. Riding on the lily pads was very convenient. A bomb rock, interesting. It may come in handy when up against a powerful adversary. With even more bomb rocks in hand, I want to go over here and take out the whip-tongued Bulborb that's guarding the first stack of bridge pieces. With that taken care of, I want to head back to the Onion and round up all of our Pikmin. Obviously, building the bridge is one of the most time-consuming parts of this mission, so I want to get started on it as soon as possible. We'll have the rock Pikmin carry back the Bulborb along with the fruit it dropped, and I want about 10 red Pikmin working on this set of bridge pieces. I'll save the other set of red Pikmin to work on another stack of bridge pieces in a bit. Once we're done here, we're going to leave Louie behind at the landing site as usual to round up the rock Pikmin as they arrive, and then we'll cross over to the other side of the river. Along the way, we have even more orange Bulborbs to deal with, including 2 dwarf orange Bulborbs along with an adult that we'll use one bomb rock on like so. This Bulborb in particular over here will get in the way as Pikmin try to carry bridge pieces back, so make sure to take this one out. Over here, we also have some fiery blowhogs, along with some scutterchucks and a final whip-tongued Bulborb. The best case scenario is that the bomb rock actually takes out all of the enemies in that section, but usually it doesn't work out that well. It actually did in this case, so we'll have one red Pikmin carry back this fruit, and we also have some more red Pikmin sprouts over there. Before we worry about that, it looks like this Pikmin's a little bit stuck, so we'll actually leave that for later, and I actually want to go over here to round up this stack of bridge pieces, and then we'll swap over to Louie and see what we can do with the rock Pikmin in that next area beyond the stone wall. We have quite a few enemies that rock Pikmin will be able to take out without too much trouble. By the way, there's this dwarf orange Bulborb over there. That one will always drop nectar in case you want some. But over here, we have some flighty Chow Smites. Along with another enemy, we have an armored cannon larva. Again, obviously we don't want to go into this area with red Pikmin until we clear out some of the other threats. With that taken care of, we'll also get to work on fighting the armored cannon larva, which shouldn't be too difficult, and this one should also drop an item. We'll have the rock Pikmin carry this back, and then we'll head over here to where the red Pikmin sprouts are, and there's also a pile of gold in this area. Ugh, I can't eat this. We'll have the rock Pikmin work on this, and then we'll head over and gather up these red Pikmin. I think we'll also carry back the whip-tongued Bulborb, partly just to get it out of the way of the fruit, and then we'll gather these up. We're actually in the same area as Olimar, so we're going to swap over and then reunite. We actually don't have to worry about that particular fiery blowhog, because all the Pikmin carrying the bridge pieces there are red Pikmin, and thus won't have to worry about the fire. At this point, we should end up with enough Pikmin for the rest of this mission, so we should be good to go in that regard. So in the meantime, we're going to round up the fruits that the orange Bulborbs dropped there and over here. Overall, this might be one of my favorite Olimar's comeback missions. It's honestly one of the most involved, in my opinion, because I feel like in general the side stories are fairly linear in terms of how you approach them. Meanwhile, this mission feels very open-ended, like there are a lot of different ways to actually approach this level, and it makes it really interesting to try to go through it, especially if you're trying to get the platinum rank and a particularly good score. I definitely feel like on a first playthrough, this mission could be extremely overwhelming also. I definitely feel like if you don't set up the bridge fast enough, you can easily run out of time, especially because a lot of the treasures past the bridge actually take a bit to carry you down, and again, if you don't have enough Pikmin, you might need to take multiple trips, which will take even more time. The bridge still isn't done entirely yet. This should be the final set here, I hope, and with this taken care of, the rock Pikmin are still working on the gold stack over there, so we might as well head up this area to the top of the tree to see what else we can find. Be very careful here, because there is an enemy that will ambush you as soon as you enter this next area. Up here we should have an enemy buried. Claustrophobia is setting in. So yeah, we have a very rude cannon larva placement there, and we have a large stack of gold. Again, this is why I recommend having a ton of Pikmin for this mission. One problem with this also is sometimes the Pikmin actually get stuck on both the fruit and the cannon larva, but luckily that was not the case this time, so we won't have to also carry the cannon larva back. With that taken care of, that should be just about everything we need to collect. So at this point, all that's left is to wait for all of the treasure to arrive back at the Onion. Again, this is a very fun mission. Basically trying to figure out the best routes to get everything as quickly as possible is surprisingly challenging. I definitely feel like this might have one of the steeper learning curves of the Olimar's side stories missions. And yeah, there really isn't much to actually collect because most of the treasures are worth a lot or are like the gold nuggets that take a lot of Pikmin to carry back, but basically add up to individual items. It looks like they're just about done with that gold pile over there, so if they got all the gold at the top of the tree, all that's left should be this fruit here. Unless I'm forgetting something, I guess we'll find out in a moment once they arrive. But yeah, overall this mission went pretty smoothly, again, assuming I didn't actually forget anything, which is entirely possible, so we'll see once these rock Pikmin arrive. Words cannot describe how I'm feeling, Your Highness. Please accept this platinum medal and a song written by yours truly. Seeing those fruits we retrieved reminded me of those Kopite explorers and all the trouble they went through to save their homeworld. Realizing half were gone reminded me I hadn't heard from Louis in a while. I asked if he knew anything about it, and his response was to drop everything and run away. He's a handful, but he's my partner, and it's my duty to bring him back. Next time, we'll try to track down Louis, so thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Pikmin 3 Deluxe.